hanging from the bridge of reality into the inky unknown comes the bottle-whistling weirdness that is 2020's The Empty Man. The story of an ex-police officer who investigates the disappearance of a family friend related to an urban legend with reality-bending results. How deep is your love for Bhutan burial sites? How many high schoolers does it take to get into a cult of crisscross applesauce? And at what point can quit hitting yourself get homicidal? I hope you all brought your empty bottles, made sure to put up your solid black posters, and have empty thoughts, because tonight, the Chuddle Club is whistling on the bridge and about to encounter the Empty Man.
Not the Chuddle.
Chuddle. Surprise! Whoa. Oh, that's fantastic.
So good! If what the actual fuck was a movie, out of the mist and into the fog, it's Chuddle the Pod.
Sup, Chuddle Club members. Welcome to another menacing meeting of the Chuddle the Pod Horror Movie Club. And on this episode, we're gonna Chuddle the Empty Man.
Ooh, this got really intense very quickly. All right,
okay,
I'm into
we're
this.
Aggro.
All right.
If this is your first time
It's
listening to the
like
show,
This is not normally like this.
kick back, enjoy yourself, relax, open a glass of wine,
Just relax.
Bottled water, whatever you're
Did you say
into
bong
drinking.
water?
But please sit back and drink something.
Excuse me?
We start the show with a spoiler-free discussion, then we go into full-blown movie discussion, guaranteed to make you say, ugh. Before we continue, I must take this moment to thank our coven of patrons. Your sacrifice gives us life, and we thank your beautiful souls.
Thank you.
Oh, this is amazing. Oh, also, they picked this movie, right?
They sure did.
Thank you.
All right, we can't have a meeting if we don't take attendance. My name's Sam. I'm present. Ross, are you present?
Oh, hey. Yes, I am.
Fantastic. Bryan, my friend, are you present?
Huh?
Sounds about right. With all club members present and accounted for, better crack open that goo book and officially begin tonight's meeting. Our first order of business is our spoiler-free teaser, starting with our mysterious toe tagline.
Ooh.
On the trail of a missing girl, an ex-cop comes across a secretive group attempting to summon a terrifying supernatural entity.
Yeah.
Good job,
okay.
IMDb.
Yeah, that's pretty
Nailed it.
pretty on the nose.
Movies are made by people, and the people that made this movie are directed by David Pryor, and it's credited as David Pryor is credited as a writer as well as Cullen Bunn, but I think David Pryor did the movie and it's based on a comic book by Cullen Bunn, because the way I saw it in the credits, I thought was written and directed by David Pryor.
Mm-hmm.
The stars of this movie are James Badge Dale as James LaSombra, Marin Ireland as Nora Quayle, Sasha Frolova as Amanda Quayle, Samantha Logan as Devara Walsh, Evan Jonigkite as Greg, Virginia Call as Ruthie, Aaron Poole as Paul, Jessica Matten as Fiona, and many, many more.
Do you think James being called James in the movie, do you think that the actors get more into the movie when their real names are their characters' names, or do you think it pulls them out of the movie?
I like James. Yes. Oh, I mean.
Oh, sorry. Oh, shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great question. That's just one for the cosmos. We'll put that out there and see what happens.
Very fitting for this movie, by the way.
Well, sure.
What time is it?
It's time for the gore.
Fatality.
On a scale of 1 to 10, psycho to the sadness, how gory is this film? Anybody want to start us off? Ross, you opened your mouth.
It's, man, this one's kind of, for me, it's
Low.
kind of low. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
it's like a, I don't know, maybe like a 3?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
But not in a bad way. It's just,
No.
yeah. low.
It's
But when you
just a
get it,
movie
it's
with low gore.
interesting. And I mean, it's when you get the goo, it's goo. It's just very thinly spread out.
Yeah, I think 3
I would
sounds
agree.
good.
It's a light smear of gore.
Yes.
Let's talk about who this movie's for.
Who is the horror for?
All right. This movie is for fans of what? Starting with subgenres. What subgenres does it fall into?
Cult movies for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Cosmos movies for sure.
Cosmic movies.
If you want some heady stuff. I mean,
it's
cosmic.
not like in outer space.
I mean, you don't.
Yeah. It's not like about the cosmos.
No, it's more metaphysical. Your mic's off.
Yep.
Yarp. If you're into like metaphysic nightmare territory, like this is a good one.
Detective movies, whatever the movies are for like the something's going to happen to you in a certain amount of time. Get it done.
Ooh, yeah. Like
The Ring.
A countdown horror movie. Like
Countdown. That's good.
Agreed.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, nailed it.
Nailed it.
What is banging on the window right now? You open up that Chuddle Club window? Oh, God. It's the Mothman, here to bring its message of warning and doom for us all.
The Harbinger.
You got anything to warn us about, Mothman?
I mean, there's subtle stuff about self-harm. I don't know why I'm so old. Self-harm, suicide, is kind of heavy. And I guess if you've ever been in a cult, this may fuck you up a little bit.
Sure, that's great. I'd like to add photosensitivity.
Oh,
because there's a lot of flashing lights at the end.
There's a lot of flashing lights at the end.
There's a dead dog.
Oh!
There sure is.
Yes, there is. Oh, it's also, it's a young one, too.
Mm-hmm. Fresh. Great. Well, roads, where we're going, we don't need roads.
Spoiler zone.
Starting us off with, we're getting into spoilers if you didn't figure it out. Starting with the IMDb behind the scenes. Just a few here, not too many. And then, of course, some sprinkled in throughout. This was one of the last films from Fox that was made before it was acquired by Disney. The film was quietly dumped into theaters and made so little money that even a home video release on DVD was deemed non-profitable. So it was made, bought by another company, and they just kind of, I'd never even heard of it.
Yeah.
They just kind of put it out and let it die. Put it out to pasture.
I remember seeing the trailers for this and then nothing after seeing the trailers for this.
It's mentioned it already, based on a comic book by Cullen Bunn and Vanessa Del Rey, The Empty Man, published by Boom Studios, who also produced this film.
Awesome.
This is the first film released under Walt Disney Studios to be rated 18 by the BBFC, which is like the UK MPAA. Just thought I was a neat tidbit. Also, I don't speak Spanish, so I didn't know La Sombra means the shadow in Spanish, which kind of plays to some themes.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say with the British thing, it's not quite a video nasty, but for Disney standards, that's pretty high.
It was Disney's first video nasty, this film.
Yeah.
And something I didn't notice, and I don't really know what the significance would be, but the time 304 is shown throughout the movie.
Yeah, it is.
And including the ending scene.
I don't know the significance for sure, but I definitely noticed it.
A few of those.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's explained in the comic book.
The comic book, I'm glanced at it briefly, I believe is totally different. It's like about a woman who people think is crazy. And it's like 6 issues.
I saw 2 different graphic novels on it. That was called like The Empty Man Resurgence or something, and The Empty Man Afterbirth or something like that.
I don't know. Maybe one of them is. Like I said, brief glance. With that, we can go into who picked at our history and why. unless Bryan wants to look at that real quick. All right. This was a patron suggestion. I think we all kind of picked this because we didn't know what it was. I mean, that was kind of my reason.
Yeah, no, same. Like, I think out of the list of them, this is the one that I hadn't seen, but I was like, I would love to actually sit down and watch that.
Great. And this was a suggestion from Ricky Cajon, the Witchy Prejon, one of our patron coven members. And we thank you for bringing this to us.
Thanks, Ricky.
I know.
I'm ready to start talking about the movie.
Let's do
you
it.
Boys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We're here for it. That's what we're here for.
All right.
Oh, no. Bryan?
Wes Craven's
Is
ghost
this
got me.
Is this the ghost of Wes Craven? That's in our...
All right, so the movie begins. We get 4 people hiking up a mountain.
This whole intro scene was bonkers. I loved this Bhutan Valley. This entire opening sequence was fucking super creepy and ominous. Also, for a split second, thought we were dealing with a Yeti because of the snow drift, shadowy shit. Where I was like, 0.2 seconds. I was like, am I watching a Yeti movie? No, but still excited about it.
I thought it was a mummy.
Oh, ooh, it's like Mumra. Holy shit, he totally does look like Mumra.
Well, it's got the flappy flaps.
Flappy flaps.
I just gotta say, I have no idea what I saw in terms of the Empty Man comic. But it is what more in line with Sam said, from what I can tell. What the fuck? Like, now I can't even find what I was looking at. I think I was in an alternate dimension for some reason, where there's this other Empty Man comic.
You were in the nothing.
That's this two-part thing, because I
were
saw
receiving
it.
a message from the antenna.
I saw something.
Noahverse.
And
you were in the Monopoly with a monocle.
there was like this.
Mm-hmm.
My mind's being
Multiverse.
blown right now. Anyway.
Oh, dude, it's the
Welcome
Empty
to
Man.
Earth.
He did it.
Yeah.
He got rid of it.
I just wanted to own up to the fact that I was wrong. Or maybe I was just trans-dimensional.
Well, are you
both?
Wait, are you transmitting or are you receiving?
You're both.
Both.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
All right, so they're hiking up. Paul hears some sound and he starts walking towards it. And then drops out of sight.
It just completely drops out of sight. I like the ongoing theme with the Empty Man is that, and they obviously talk about it at the end, but like that this entity or whatever that we're going to be dealing with kind of worms its way through like depression and trauma, where
there's a line in it later. It comes through the cracks of. I have it written down later.
Absolutely. And Paul, the one who gets shot down into, or he initially hears the whistling and falls. He has attempted suicide before. He has massive depression issues. And this was like supposed to like help him out. And I feel that like it's such an interesting thing that he was the only one that could hear it because he was the only one susceptible to the Empty Man.
It's a great point. Didn't even pick that up. Love it.
Oh, dude, Bone Shrine? Holy fucking shit, Bone Shrine.
Yeah, so his friend goes down there to find Paul. Paul's not answering him. Paul is sitting...
Crisscross applesauce, which is an ongoing theme in this movie.
It sure is. Staring at this crazy bone demon with a lot of fingers.
Quite a few fingers. And some
it
sort
was like
of...
it
kind
of wings.
It looked like...
multiple arms or something? Maybe tentacles?
This kind of like... skeletal version of like Spider-Man and the spider armor.
Yes. Actually, that's a really good analogy.
With that, but then like also like 10 fingers on each hand. Dude,
it was like a Mummy and a Tool video had a baby. Like it's almost alien vibes, like where they get to the planet and they see like cosmonaut. You know what I mean? Like that weird bone ritual type. It's
I don't know.
Freaky.
Very cool character design.
I did. I also like Paul that he's sitting there staring straight forward and he goes, "If you touch me, you'll die."
I had to turn the subtitles on for that the second time I watched it because I didn't get it the first time. But that is a very creepy thing to say.
Yeah. And guess what he does? Fucking touches him.
And then Paul immediately starts like crying.
Yeah.
After he touches him. He's like, "Oh fuck. Now we're all gonna die." And then my next note is, I hope I never have to carry someone down a mountain. So they get Paul out of this hole with
oh my God, he's just draped over his shoulder.
He's just catatonic.
Well, I thought it was, how convenient was that 4-person furnished with blankets and food and water cabin that they stumble into. I like that. I mean, obviously they're doing it for shelter, but at the same time, like, pretty lush accommodations.
It's a nice
cabin.
It's
all part of the empty man's plan.
That's empty man cabin. He set it up there on purpose.
It's an empty cabin. Hello.
Ricky says that Paul got a serious case of the can't evens. Ricky in the Discord said that.
In the Discord. I can't even.
When we were watching that. Paul got, yeah. So that was fun.
It does. Well, because at this point he's completely comatose. He also has a scroll in his hand, like an open. It's
not a scroll, it's a bone whistle.
It's okay.
Oh, which he totally took from that like pedestal in the cave.
Absolutely took. And I guess the first inclination that his girlfriend had was just like, wow, this is great. Let me blow into it.
Mm-hmm. Don't do that.
Don't blow.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why you done did that?
I wrote, don't blow in that bone whistle. Yep. Ominous wind, confirming that was a bad choice.
And we do
definitely
get
ominous wind in this movie.
Final Destination level shadow play and also wind in this.
And then they're like, we'll just wait one night. He'll be better in the morning and then we'll go. And this huge snowstorm rolls through.
I do like how they do the Ring style, like day 1, day 2.
Yeah, we're on date.
And by date, because
well, then we get her seeing the empty man out in the snow.
Yeah,
that whole sequence was fucking nar because it's like the walking or shuffling, the walking, the stopping, and then the full throttle running.
The sound design on all that was great. And because she sees him and she's like, oh, great. Hey, help. Hello. And it's like, wait, what the fuck is it? Oh, no, not a friend. This was a bad choice.
Not good.
Goes inside, locks the door, banging on the door. And it's her 2 friends there with her who are outside. She opens it. And she's like, what the fuck's going on? Did you see that guy? And they're like, no, I didn't see that guy. And then the girl tells her to calm down. And I was like, oof, that was a bad choice.
Really bad. It's super. I understand the situation. Well, not fully, but it's like, this is a pretty crazy situation to have. And you already have couples contention. I don't even know if that's a real, but I don't know. From Jump Street, I could tell that there was like issues going on with the 2 couples before the psychosis broke out. What really creeped me out is that she's asleep and he's just hovering. Was it Paul? It's hovering over
right above her face.
Just
that whisper.
Actually, you know what?
Clicky clacky whisper is very I really like it, but it's like very gooey. It's off-putting.
It's reverse ASMR. Like, it's so off-putting and so quiet that it's just so fucking gross.
Good whispers.
Works.
And Paul bounces.
So then they wake up. Paul's not in the cabin. His jacket's gone. They're following his footprints.
The bridge scene.
He's crisscross applesauce in front of the bridge, staring at the bridge.
Yep. And
blowing into that bone whistle.
Fucking whistle, dude. And that wasn't it's not a jump scare. I don't think there are some jump scares obviously in this thing, but this was like a weird surprise. Yeah. Because at first it plays off like a family drama, kind of he always pulls this shit and a bunch of other stuff. And then he kind of I warned you, I told you. And then girlfriend, who now still has that giant knife.
Family drama.
Dude, drops out of her sleeve.
Yeah.
And stabs him a bunch of times in the back. He falls off the cliff.
God, it happens so fast that you're like, oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
Slits the other lady's throat, pushes her off the cliff.
Yep.
And slowly backs up to the edge.
And does a Wile E. Coyote and just straight down.
Peace.
And then bone whistle warping reality from Paul. Title card.
Yeah.
That's 20 minutes into the movie.
That's fun. That's always fun.
Love a good delayed title card.
Kind of. Okay, I would say kind of, but it's also, 2 hours and 20 minutes?
2 hours and 13 minutes?
So it's
definitely
in there, but it's comparatively speaking, it's like
the length.
Well,
yeah. But no, it's still pretty late in there.
It's not a fresh.
Yeah. Which time jumps us.
But I mean, then we got to take R out of the conversation because that movie is fucking 3 hours long.
That's very true.
So we get the title card, The Empty Man. When I first watched this, I actually went in the chat and was like, is this the right movie? Because I was not expecting it to start off on a mountain. It started auto playing a trailer, and I only saw a little bit of it, but I thought it was like a teen Slender Man type of deal.
Right.
Yes.
Which is not what we got.
Absolutely. No, it's definitely how it was advertised in the trailers.
That is so not this movie. No wonder if the few people who saw the trailer and then saw this were probably like, what the fuck is this? So we get our main guy, James Lasombra. He's going for a run, has to take a smoke break during his run, as you do. Goes to a Mexican restaurant, uses my birthday coupon.
That looks like he's had it, photocopied it, and used it like 30 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe he has. Or maybe that's how he got it.
Yeah.
Because that would have been his first day on Earth.
Fucking goddamn it.
So I guess at this point we should go ahead and talk about, like, I guess the twist at the end.
You can. I mean, but okay, hold on. Before we get to that, I have to bring up the birthday
song.
Cupcake. Oh my God, the birthday song. The
Happy
birthday song with all the
customer.
Happy birthday, dear customer. Audibly laughed out loud. I was like, okay, cute. So this is fucking great.
Yeah, that whole scene's great. Because then it like surprises him that they come out at all, and the song, all very fun.
Whispers. You get more whispers.
So much more whispers.
This was something obviously I realized on the second viewing, but so he's pursuing. There's this whole weird cult stuff. It's almost hard to explain without going through the movie. But in the end, we find out he is a tulpa, which is like a creation from thought and concentration equals flesh. So he was made by this cult. And this is his first day as a person.
Right.
And so it was his birthday, technically.
Technically, it was because his first day was born. This is a very, you think the perception is from Victor Frankenstein, and then it winds up that Victor Frankenstein was actually Frankenstein's monster the entire time. And I thought that was kind of an interesting play on. Also, when they go through this, the only thing I was thinking of was Supernatural was season 1, where they have to fight a tulpa in that house because they all thought it was I don't know, it's like they thought it was the ghost of.
But I felt like this movie could have been an episode of Supernatural or X-Files or something like that. Like they would have come across all of this shit.
It's like the occult stuff when they bring up tulpas. I was like, oh yeah, I saw that in Supernatural once.
I don't remember almost everything I've seen in Supernatural. I've seen like 13 seasons at this point.
At that point, there's so much content. Well, it does also bring up, like, because now Amanda shows up to his house, and Amanda's like a family friend's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of goes on that crazy cosmos existential meltdown of like reality isn't real. Like, nothing is
power of positive and negative thinking. It's all about intent.
It was like it was skittled with nihilism throughout the entire thing. It was like nothing really matters because nothing's real. Like, what is reality?
Right, and it wasn't so extreme though. It could have just been, like a depressed teenager kind of just babbling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally.
Mm-hmm.
And she says to him though, she's like, you know what I mean? And he's like, no, I have no idea. And she's like, yeah, you do. Deep down, you know exactly what I mean. Which makes a whole lot more sense now.
I do. Okay. I do like the lead up because we find out with James that his wife and son had died. The zoom shot of the medicine cabinet where from the inside of the medicine cabinet where he opens it up and then it zooms as he's picking the bottle up. I thought cinematography wise, I really, really like that shot. I also like the fact that they use
really cool shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that push through.
Mm-hmm.
And he's taking doxepin, which I Googled because I was like, is that real or made up? And it's real. It's for anxiety and depression.
Ooh, and then we get day one again.
And so at this point, this is when Nora calls him, right, to be like, Amanda's missing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what's weird is that initially, I think it's how they set up the shot is that it seems like Amanda had killed herself, and that's how they lead it up to, especially with the blood smear. And then it's like, oh no, but she's actually missing.
I think maybe just because I knew it was about missing kids that I already had that in my head, you know, but I can see what you mean for sure. I just didn't think that, but I think you're right. I think that's what they were going for. So he's there to talk to Nora and be like, all right, I'm a family friend detective.
Yes,
I can help with this. Detectives come. But so like all of this never happened at all, really? This is just all in his head?
The ex-cop from St. Louis. See, okay, this is where like the reality warping aspects of this film get a little timey-wimey, wobbly, gobbly.
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah, because it's like, obviously, if he's a fictitious character who's been manifested into our reality, he's also interacting with other characters like Nora and then these two cops and stuff like that know of him, which I found really interesting. It's like, oh no, I heard about you. I know about you.
Right.
And it's like, how? Like, how does what?
Well, and when he calls her at the end, she's like, who is this? What is going on? And he's like, how could she not know me?
So is that all, like, was he just
right?
Any interaction?
Like, is every scene with
up?
her and every interaction with the cops all in his head? And
no,
it's not like he's like been having. We don't find out he's had this split personality. He just kind of has false memories.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what they certainly present it as, right?
Right. Well, he's a completely, including his past, is completely fictitious. So it's kind of, it is almost like a, I don't want to say full Fight Club, but there's huge gaps of like either your narrator is false. So like what you're seeing may not actually be reality. It may just be what he perceived was reality up until the bridge scene where he's doing his sleuthing. Because like at this point he finds nods of the cult, but then he goes to every other kid's house and nobody's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, he goes and talks to Devara.
Ooh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so he goes and talks to her, and she's telling him about what the empty man is, and you find an empty bottle on a bridge.
This whole scene was so weird to me. He's parked in his car outside of a high school and just yells at smoking a cigarette, yelling at children, and then a teen girl walks up, and he's like, "These are bad for your health. Come on in." I don't know if him recording the conversation made it more normal or even creepier, because that entire setup is just like, what are you doing? Like,
he's just not
a really didn't manifest him with common sense.
Yeah.
What I love that drives it home, he's not a cop anymore. This is just a middle-aged man talking to high schoolers, getting them smoking in his car. Like, it's
well, I guess in his head, he's got it that, he's the cops called him in and just need a little bit of help. But, I
got to figure this out.
He's going to figure it out on his own. Clearly.
But yeah, she tells the whole story of what
happened. And then we see them. We get the scene with them on the bridge, I think.
Oh, we got the,
that's fun.
What is it? Lisa,
the kids.
Lisa, Duncan, Meyer, Brandon, Amanda, and Juliana, something like that.
Sure.
I don't know all their names.
I did. I wrote them all down. It happened. It helped with the subtitles because they were all completely laid out. I just paused it where I was like, "Oh, that's okay.
Perfect.
Thanks so much."
Nice.
But then we also get Amanda's either self-harm or suicide attempt scars, which kind of like really brings home the narrative of like the empty man algorithm of like finding the like
cracks and sorrow,
these craps, yeah, exactly, and kind of like seeping in.
I guess I should say it now. So, this is a good time as any, because when the they do the whistle in the bottle on the bridge, and they're kind of waiting, and then you hear the whistle back. That gave me pelican pimples.
Oh, yeah.
And I watched this movie in the dark, really loud, because I had the capability of doing it. And I mean, there are some scenes you might have to take away my big boy card. I turned the light on a time or two. Like, I was not expecting it to hit, but it did.
It builds this. What I really like about this countdown movie in comparison to, say, some other countdown movies, although this one is like 3 days instead of like 7 days or whatever. This
1
is
hour.
such a slow moving boulder that, like, at a certain point, like by the halfway point, because of all the weird visual tricks, but also like I was expecting this fucking creature to come out of every shadow of every crest of it. So the entire is like just unnerving the entire movie.
And I think part the sound design and score, couldn't tell you what it sounds like, but I know that really helped add to the anxiety of
so ominous.
All right, so I wanted to mention that. So then,
well, Amanda
she
kind of
leaves the guy, and there's all those kids sitting crisscross,
totally,
like just sort of staring, and then they all look at her at the same time.
Oh, they do.
She also sees the empty man for a second, and it's like scary as fuck.
Yeah, we get like Final Destination 1 Shadow Man, and then the crisscross applesauce kids all doing the Village of the Damned at the same time.
Oh yeah,
but. Just to hop back real quick, Amanda pulls a Randy and explains what the empty man does, where it's blow into a bottle on a bridge at night. The first night, you hear him. The second night, you see him. And then the third night,
he finds you.
Feel him. He finds you. You feel him.
You feel him.
You feel me?
Sexy.
Yeah. Sexy stuff.
So then this is when we find out, as James is going to interview the other kids, that they're all missing except for the first girl he talked to.
Right.
Every single one of them.
And then we have a dead dog.
And one of the ones that's missing, he just like walks into the house and starts peeking around her room. Lisa.
I just remember
because he kept calling for her, and she had that's the first time we see a big black poster that's kind of like shades of black. Are you seeing something in there? Are you not?
Right.
And that is where there's the dead dog outside with the blood buckets.
Oh, it's a puppy.
At this point, where the audience is thinking that's what was used, the blood used at Amanda's house when she disappeared.
Totally. And the ongoing like theme with all like at least the bedrooms that he's been searching. Was it the Pontifex? I think I pronounced
Institute.
And there's either like the poster or like the flyers, and they're all over the place.
That's the cult. And then I don't even know what whispering I was referring to at this point, but I wrote, this whispering is creepy as fuck.
Oh, it's the because James goes to the bridge, he investigates, he pulls out which I don't understand. Why. Also, in Empty Man logic, this is the middle of the fucking day. Yeah. This is like not at night.
Right.
But I guess if you're a tulpa,
because you're a tulpa.
because you're a tulpa. Hey, we're on tulpa rules now, and this is tulpa time. So every night, all the time is midnight. So just think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I still want to have blown in that bottle.
Dibs on that band.
If these kids did this and everybody went missing, I'd be like,
why would you do that? But also, the second he blew into it, it's just whispering and wind. Like, I like the fact the second he does it, I suppose, and then just wind and a bunch of other stuff.
And then again, we get some whistling back, and he's like kind of called to it. And you also hear this faint like banging.
Yes. Which is, well, I mean, he does find the kids hanging out.
Yeah, this is
that's that banging.
That's the banging. Because he comes to the manhole, and I'm like, don't go down the manhole.
Don't go the fucking
goes down the manhole. All the missing kids are hanging beneath it.
I love the fact he looks left, and then he looks right, and then he just looks directly to the side, and it's just that kid hanging there, like that's super close up.
And they're all in a row, like right next to each other.
At this point, I did feel like I was like, okay, I see that. Like, you're talking about good shots. There's a lot of good shots here, but I was like, this feels like the way a lot of this was framed. It felt very much like a comic book.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So I got that vibe as well, especially because in intro, like title card, I was like, is this a comic book? Because it has like a
it really does.
Yeah, the Boom Studios logo.
I have notes scattered throughout this, and the hanging scene of the kids is one of them, where it was like, this feels like a comic book. Like, this is how I would perceive an illustration.
There's like, obviously this image I think is in the comic book. I feel like, at least in my alternate reality mind, I saw this image.
In
I
your
see it right now.
bears.
Okay, the Empty Man recurrence. I don't know, paperback. I don't know if the story's any different,
Still
but there's
looking it up.
definitely a picture of a bunch of people hanging under a bridge.
I was not expecting that. My note is like, oh my God, exclamation point.
Right? Like,
Kids
I knew it
hanging
was a
under the
cult.
bridge.
I just didn't realize it was like an actual murder suicide cult, because Amanda wasn't
I didn't
part
get
of
the cult part yet
or
myself.
yeah, because I mean, I guess got nods where it's almost like a suicide pact or like something crazy, but Amanda wasn't part of that group, so Amanda's still missing. All of her friends are dead though.
Except for the first person he
hopped. Yeah, he talked.
She's
to
alive at the moment.
Yeah.
And at this point, he starts getting a nosebleed that I never really understood why that happened. I guess maybe it's supposed to make the audience think Empty Man stuff is happening to him, but I was just like, these kids should have manifested him better. Poor guy's got a nosebleed.
Right. Yeah, I wonder if it's like the tulpa needs lives to sustain itself. So maybe the kids were actually helping James into his final
Yeah, I
form.
didn't understand, I guess, there's a lot
I don't understand.
Why did they kill themselves? But
I think it's interesting is that like,
well, I think they saw the Empty Man and he made them do it, just like the lady did on the mountain and our next scene that's about to happen.
super true.
Yeah.
It's like if he likes you or not, because it's like it's almost like I wish I could bring this up logically at every conversation, but this one actually makes sense. This is almost like Ratma to me, where it's like it didn't kill Amanda because it could fish its way into her because of her suicide attempt and her depression and stuff like that. It murdered the other ones because it couldn't get into their heads like that, I guess.
Sure, that could make sense. That works for me.
One plausible explanation versus
I mean,
so now we get the Devara, the girl that he had interviewed that's still alive. She's at a sauna.
Yeah, steamed hams is my note.
Steamed hams. We get a butt. There is a butt.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It made me a little uncomfortable because she's
supposed to be in high
playing a high schooler.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think see a little bit of boob as well.
I think
not like a ton. It's not. No,
it's subtle. It's still nudity, subtle nudity.
It's through fog.
Do you think they Do you think they thought they got away with it because they filmed it from the end of a really long hallway? So they're just like, okay, maybe it's, oh God, is this a teenage? But okay, what if we just go back like 45 feet?
That makes it okay.
So I liked this scene though, how the camera would just go all white because of how steamy it was in there. And then we'd get like some of it blow out of her face and we'd see it for a second. And then all of a sudden the fucking Empty Man's there and he's got some scissors and he starts stabbing her in the face, picks her up by the throat, puts her against the wall.
And just starts stabbing her face. Oh God.
Right in the eyeball and shit.
Cut. She has herself held by the throat and she's held against the wall, stabbing herself in the face.
I had to rewind that. I literally, like, when that first happened, I was like, wait, did I just fucking see that? Holy shit. And then rewinding it. Oh, it's,
My exact note is, holy shit, the sauna face stabbing.
Yes.
A lot of my notes are, oh fuck, or holy shit, or something like that.
It's cool. And I do like this one, like, in The Empty Man, specifically in this scene, it's the, you always see the crazy shit happen to people in these movies. Is it like the countdown ones or the entity getting to him? I like the fact that like the self-harm, you see it from the perspective of a possession versus like they just killed themselves. You know what I mean? Like I thought that was a really cool twist.
I agree. We get a scene with James and the detective again. It's not much to say, I don't think, except I like the part where he's almost giving his like little Rorschach speech about how like the disease will eat the earth and stuff, but he talks about a mom that fed her baby to a pack of stray dogs because the empty man told her to.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are we going to do? We can't, in quotes, we can't indict the cosmos. I just really like that line. We can't indict the cosmos.
Because it's like, I do like his analogy of like, okay, well, we could throw the mom in jail, but that's not solving the crime. Like, that's not ultimately solving. And this is one of these things that just isn't going to be solved. I don't know. I got like, in the best way possible, that whole speech was almost like in the mouth of madness style. Like this, whatever this isn't just pertaining to Amanda and their group of friends or like this close knit. It's like a virus that has been spreading. And this is we're just following one case of what's going on. And it's happening all over. I really, really like that.
It was cool. Now, James is home. He finally decides to Google the Pontifex Institute, reading about it on Wikipedia. Then Wikipedia's a tulpa, so he's just reading about himself for a little bit.
It's an autobiography.
That is the real Wikipedia page on tulpas.
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool.
So whoever edited that, because obviously they're listening, good job. It made it in a movie.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for your hard work.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you find out the institute. It's like a doomsday cult. I like in the tulpa, thought plus concentration plus time equals flesh. That
very cool.
It's like, goo. I don't know. I think that concept is just goo, like with a capital G goo. Because
that's that's a shirt right there, but it'd be one of those shirts that's like so and 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 so.
Yes,
that are popular. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Would be thought and concentration and time equal flesh.
On it.
So Nora shows up with some food for him. Oh, yeah. She's like, I figured you forgot to eat. He said, no, I didn't forget it. It just never occurred to me. At this point, I paused the movie because I realized I had not had anything to eat. So I took my own little break. So that's a bit of the cosmos for you.
Ooh. Thanks, James.
So this didn't happen then, though, right?
Presumably, but this is where I guess we get more of his backstory through seeing this, because we get the idea that they hooked up in the past and it's a problem and they can't do it now. Boundaries. She has to stay and he's like silent.
Mm-hmm.
So this is when the empty man, I don't think this is the time we see him fully in the hallway.
My note says the first night 3 a.m. empty man whispering blues is what.
Oh yeah, we get with that 3 a.m. shit. That this is one of the times, I don't remember if that's the first, but there's a few times waking up in the night, it happens right at that time, and I definitely noticed.
Oh, absolutely. The unholy trinity.
It's like, what's the number significance? I don't think I got it.
I don't know.
3.
It wasn't on IMDb behind the scenes.
Well, when they refer, in a few other films, when they refer to like things happening at 3 a.m., it's supposed to.
I understand that significance, but I think it feels very. Because didn't you say there was something other 304 something? It was like a specific number, and there's something at the end.
Oh, that's so true. Yeah, I don't know.
It didn't seem like it was the time. It said it seemed like it was more so the number.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know.
All right, that's it. Tell you. We're gonna bring David on, and we got to ask him personally.
Let's do it. But I thought this scene was creepy. This is when he gets the baseball bat.
Oh yeah. Well, your front door's wide open. Like
Oh yeah.
I think that
I was in my living room.
Did you lock the
doors. I checked both of them to make sure they were locked.
No.
Now he goes to the Pontifex Institute.
Dude,
so we're on day 2. Okay.
This whole cult scene is.
I love it.
They did a great job because it's so unnerving while you're there with the level of just awkward and weird.
Mm-hmm.
I love he comes in. He's like, what is this? She's like, oh, whatever. He's like, no, I get that, but what is this? And she's like, we were established in 2013, but what we can offer you is as old as time. That line really tickled me.
Damn.
And he gets like the pamphlet, and it's got all these crazy fucking cosmic.
Does your brain
thoughts.
itch?
My brain itches. So here's a IMDb behind the scenes. The word pontifex is a word used to refer to a high order of priests in Rome. It can also literally translate to mean bridge maker.
Oh,
or
there you
a
go.
man who negotiates with God. So that's fun.
Both.
Then we get Stephen Root as the preacher,
Yes.
Neat.
which was fucking awesome.
Was so good. He was so good in that role. His entire, I mean, like the whole sermon was so nihilistic, but also so uplifting at the same time. It's, I don't know, it's a weird juxtaposition of like the heaviness of the nothingness that he was talking about, but how joyous and how accepting that is. Was such a cool, great cult.
I get
vibe.
it, man.
Yeah,
I get it.
Fun philosophical talk with leader dude is my note. It's,
Oh my
it just gets
God,
real heady and it's
I
interesting.
like at
It's
the end
cool.
of the sermon, he's like, this message comes to you directly from the empty man. And he like stares
Dun,
at
dun,
James.
dun.
It's like, okay, dude.
Like, because that's you, pal. And I did like, then when he talks to James, he talks about the child's game where you repeat
Your
the
name.
word till it means nothing, which that is called semantic satiation. That concept or thing that happens. But I really liked his whole speech there. And at the end where he's just like, which is more true, your name or the gibberish? I was like, oh wow, man, what is more true?
He did have some really cool notes. I did like the idea of like the idea of technology stealing memory and repetition killing the danger of an interesting idea or just ideas in general.
It renders things cliche. Yeah.
I thought that was a very he had some good words. Crazy as shit, but definitely had some good words.
And that's when he's like, so glad you came back. Hope you stay longer next time. I haven't been here. Must be something about you. Like, we
so
created you,
him,
bitch.
well, no, him saying that though, and then I guess also later when like the doppelganger scene happens, I'm curious how many times they've manifested him to take over as the vessel, and how many times it didn't work. Because it seems like
You think?
I think they've brought him into existence way more times than what our James is experiencing.
I agree.
I never thought that.
I agree. Just because so he starts sneaking around the thing, and that's when we get to the people like all chanting together.
Yes.
And
Oh, that cold room with
so
the
that-
whispering
that-
monks looking at the poster. That was when I turned the light on.
that
fucking
led me
awesome.
to again thinking of like, yeah, what Ross is going with here, and my note for that is Tulpa. I was like, they're manifesting something. I don't know if I had the connection that it was him
Yeah.
that was being down below coming out,
Mhm.
but with the way that she had the stopwatch when something happened, that made me feel like they were timing like it, how long
fast they
did
could
it
do it, or how
do
long
it this
exists.
time. This came into existence and stuff. Yeah, so I had
Yeah.
definitely the feeling that they'd been doing this a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
and it's successful in some aspect, but then we get that like him like peering over, and at that point we see the shadow. We don't see the other perspective that it's actually
Him.
No.
It's actually
him.
or a
So
version of him.
explain. So this is, I guess, as good a point
Wibbly
as any.
wobbly, timey wimey.
How? But like, it's like
It's like in the future they put him into the room that he
Well-
was made in somehow, like when his brain's like frying, he ends up in that room, and that's where he sees the empty man and he escapes and just
I think
runs into that room from there.
I always perceived it as the breakdown of time and space because it doesn't affect the empty. So like him being a tulpa
Cosmic.
beyond, like cosmic, but within the confinements of your own time loop, if that makes sense. So like once he gets to that stage and he's seeing himself in the place where he was born and birthed and all that kind of crazy shit, like he's there living it, but only through the empty, like only through the perception of, because he's on the same level as the empty man.
Or maybe because his brain just clicked into what he is, they were doing like a summoning thing, and somehow the antenna and receiver were like ready to go.
Mhm. Oh, also, I mean, beyond, because we're never explained. So a lot of this is just more
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of speculation.
the bigger idea is a creature being brought into existence only to feel pain so that it can be a vessel. right?
Yeah, is that
Right.
the main the main idea for the cult is because the older vessel's dying,
Which is
well, yeah.
it doesn't matter. It's Paul. It's from it's our
Paul.
original guy.
Yeah, who's just
from
been
the beginning.
in medical facilities for 23 years.
Yeah.
But no, it's the idea of like, well, this is a tulpa, so why aren't we creating one that could just be a vessel? Where it's like a cosmic being inside of another technical cosmic being is.
I like the idea
heady,
that the
man.
cosmic being, the empty man or whatever, just being like, so it's gotten control of Paul, right? Sorry, Paul is the guy from the intro segment. That could
Yes, the beginning. Yeah.
Okay, so it's got control of him and using him as the communication or
As
whatever.
an antenna.
He's
to
like,
send the
okay,
signal
guys,
to the
instead of
other
just
people.
like
He
doing this thing where
transmits,
we wait
receive.
where we wait for someone that's empty enough to come along that it can possess, why don't we just make one of those? So yeah, I think
Right.
it's like just start making these things, and then they get onto
Bonkers.
the idea of the tulpa. It takes them 23 years to do it, though, right? Or do they start adding at a certain point when he's dying?
Yeah.
When did they start?
So I assumed that they started the tulpa of James when the original vessel started breaking down, because it's like the human body's not supposed to have a cosmic being in it. So like apparently like the health is failing and a bunch of other stuff. But
Well, he's been around for 20. I mean, yeah, I guess so. He's
he'd be in his 40s.
still 23 years as containing a cosmic being. I don't know how old he was in the beginning of the movie.
I've been containing a cosmic being for 23 years, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt.
And a husk of a body. Anyway, we jumped ahead to like day 3. We're still on day 2.
Oh, that's
Where
fine.
so all that kind of stuff happened in there.
So we're him sneaking through, the lights come on, that he gets kicked out.
I love
he meets Neil
I
Cassidy.
love the lights going up where he just gets caught and he goes, is the exit over? Okay, I'll go take that.
And they're just
That's
like,
fine.
hey, you get out of here because it doesn't matter. They created him.
Yeah.
So he has a talk with the cool guy in the alley is my next note.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool cigarette smoking cult member.
Rebel without a cause?
Yeah.
Who
Well, I
talks
think he
like
does
that?
have a cause.
He does.
That is a rebel with a cause
This
right
is
there.
a rebel with a cause.
So he ends up telling James about the camp,
Right.
the like programming camp. She's going to the next level. That's
Yes.
where Amanda is.
Oh,
And then we get the really cool shot
The
of
neat
the
map
map
transition.
and it's slowly going into the map, and the map like becoming the landscape and
That
going
was
down
really
and
fun.
falling.
That
apart.
it felt
cool.
like this is like, it felt in tune to a comic book.
Right.
Yes.
And when we say comic book, like for us, we know comic books aren't all superheroes, but we don't. That's not what we mean.
Yeah.
A lot of people
it's
might
what I
think
mean.
superhero. Oh, okay.
well, it's just in comic books they always have these really interesting bleeding points between, or just shots, and I think this film is riddled with just gorgeous cinematography and really stunning shots of its surroundings, very much like a comic book.
A lot of good establishing shots.
Totally, including this Friday the 13th style rundown summer camp.
Camp Elsewhere?
Camp Elsewhere
Across the lake from Camp Nowhere? Anyone remembers that movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Put Roman candles on their rollerblades.
Yes.
So yeah, James just walks in, starts poking around. He really does not give a shit anywhere he goes. It's just like, fuck it, I'll do what I want. So he's poking around. He finds files on all the missing kids.
This guy.
What do you know? There's a red file.
What's in the
with
red
his
file?
last name on it. Nothing.
Oh no!
It's empty.
It's empty. You get it? Just it's empty,
Foreshadowing.
man.
It's empty, man. So like, sorry, maybe I don't forget like the punchline to why he's investigating everything. Why as a tulpa he has to investigate everything just to add to misery to his life.
I guess so. Yeah,
I think
just,
he has to voluntarily accept, because he initially blows into the bottle, which starts the empty man coming towards him or at him. And I think he has to relive his grief and all this crazy shit for him to be like emotionally at a level to.
Well, that really is. I don't want to say sucks or upsetting is the wrong term, but for the fact that like if he has to blow the bottle to accept the empty man in, he didn't follow the rule that you have to do it at night. Hey,
remember we already established
I
this.
don't remember them saying that.
He's on tulpa time.
what's her name does when she gets into the car. That was like one of the
Sure.
things. But again, that's according to legend. Maybe it doesn't. I guess it doesn't matter because technically,
He was
if you look at when
made as
Paul
a
did
vessel.
it, Paul did it during the daytime. It was in a cave.
Oh, that's
but-
interesting. I'd have to rewatch the beginning when they're still in the valley. Is that when the wife or girlfriend blows into it? Is that at night or is that during the day?
Well,
it's inside. I'm not sure
Yeah.
we know.
Okay.
And then again, at the day 3 of that initial one, it's. Well, I guess it's at the
It's
end,
not
so
her
it's
third day.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
blowing
Well,
it.
unless she
A
blows
lot of
on
that
that first
happens
day, I
in
don't know.
the daytime. It felt like in the first segment.
Oh, I guess that is true.
So
I mean,
I guess
even
day or night
established
doesn't
you have to
matter.
do it at night. Maybe it was dusk or maybe daylight savings time. Maybe it was like 8 p.m., but still light out or something.
Right. So then I have him like, so he's going through everything, and we find VHS Manifestation 13, and I have watching old
Creepy
VHS in
affix.
Creepy
Oh.
Cabin vibes with a Z. That was definitely vibes.
He goes to the cabin past that worn down teddy bear. It's just kind of creepy looking. Puts on this manifestation
Oh,
video where they make this
God.
little like Aphex Twin guy.
Yeah, the rubber Johnny just running around. The multiple fingers as like because they're showing this guy progressively getting more like cosmic, like I don't know, metaphysical,
Getting weirder.
I mean, he's got multiple fingers at this point. He's doing like that weird drawing of everything, like. Ugh.
And then he looks over and realizes that drawing is on the wall of the room he is watching this tape in.
Right.
Mhm.
That
all this shit was freaky. I thought
I think
he turns around, the bear's gone.
He's when he's doing his staring contest with night vision powder, and then like all of a sudden he turns around and that teddy bear that's like rotting and covered that. Not like top 10 teddy bears that have creeped me out. I think it's just the amount of moss on it. Like it gave me like this is Jason Voorhees's teddy bear,
Oh, yeah.
and nobody should touch that teddy bear. And when the teddy bear's
Creepy bear.
gone, it's like what happened to that teddy bear?
Creepy bear. And he takes a walk through the woods.
This next part also freaked me out.
Oh yeah.
When he's creeping around, it's nighttime, and he sees the fire with like
The circle
I don't
pit.
know.
Circle pit.
Yeah, nice. 60
Yeah.
kids or so and like all black
Oh.
with their heads covered in black hoodies, just kind of running in one direction around. Then they stop and kind of all rock side to side and then start going the other direction.
Dude,
I call
And the fire like swirls into space and the cosmos starts swirling and then he snaps out of
a
it.
bonfire
And
that's
the fire's
also
gone.
doubles as a wormhole. Like it
Yeah.
was super trippy. I also do like the red light, green light after like they catch
yeah.
you.
This
From the two-stepping
really creeped me
freaks.
out. So they all start in unison marching towards him and they stop at the edge of the body of water he's across from, like a small
Okay,
pond.
so did anyone else catch? Maybe I might be wrong on this. They are running on top of that water, as in like I don't know how deep that lagoon.
It looks like it's not very deep at all.
I
like
didn't
maybe a
think that
foot.
they were like running on water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just run through it.
Yeah.
It looks ankle deep is what I thought.
Oh, okay. I was like, is it deeper?
You thought it was
I was
like they were
holy
magic.
shit! They're like Jesus
Like
lizards.
Jesus.
Jesus lizards.
But yeah, the step forward, they all step forward, step back, they all step back. He goes, yeah, no, and takes off. And then if he is, well, who knows if any of this is really happening, but if it is, why would they be doing this to him? Where they're like climbing on his car and attacking him and
but
throwing shit
This
at
is
him.
one of my favorite lines in the movie because he fucking pulls out and then runs and then he literally goes, "What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?"
That was a good line. I have that written down too.
Like that was
again,
that was him in the
leads
audience
into
going
my
like, "What?"
asking, again, like, why does he have to go through all of this to get to the empty man?
I guess it's
why did
because
they
of,
have
like-
to do that
Well,
to him?
So, at Amanda's thing at the end, let me jump to it. She says the signal can only penetrate the cracks of sorrow, grief, and guilt. Fear, that's what we were missing. So we made you that way. So maybe
ultimately he has to be
it's so that
afraid
he'll
of the
be
empty
afraid.
man. So like he has
Okay.
to go through the process of the 3 days
Maybe.
to like
But we
thoroughly
made
get
you
himself
that.
freaked
But like
out.
again, we made you that way. Like, I don't know. He's already
if he's, like,
on day
made
one.
to-
He already seems pretty grief stricken. Like they're
He
good at
is all those
manifesting.
things.
Yeah, like
he needed the fear. Why not just make him like agoraphobic or something?
right. Yeah. Why don't you just add that in? Just
Yeah.
add that to your powder
Goku.
mix that you're mixing in there with your tulpa. Tulpa aid.
Question for the Pontifex Institute. So now he goes back to the detectives. They're like, I'm trying to determine if you've irretrievably fucked our investigation from doing all this investigating. Then he finally goes and I wrote, there we go, tool up, bruv. He finally goes to his fucking store to get like weapons and shit, guns.
From a security
because he
thing.
only had a baseball bat before this.
Have we gotten to the empty man is Ghostface when he calls the house?
I'm not sure what you...
What is it called? Was it he calls his house or Nora's
Oh, that's
house?
happening right
Oh,
now.
my
Yeah,
God.
so he goes to get Nora. He's like, we got to get the fuck out of here. The phone
It's
rings.
just
He tells her to answer it.
whistling.
There's nothing. And then we get more of the whispering.
Mm-hmm.
It's, he puts it in his ear. It's like...
And you're like, oh, God damn it.
Mm-hmm.
He's.
So hang up. Let's get the fuck
I
out
like
of here.
in the cosmic, chaotic cesspool that fucking the empty man lives in that he can still make a collect call.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so he drops her off at the hotel, then apparently goes to sleep because he wakes up at that time.
Mhm.
And this time he's looking at, is there like a shape in his hallway?
No,
Fucking empty man gets up, charges at him.
yeah, it just looks like a shadowy lump on the floor. Like, did I like leave my coat or backpack on the floor? That's what like you would see.
Right.
Like you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like down the hallway, like that doesn't look quite right. And then it just fucking like gets up. Yeah, that was effective.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, God. And then and then the fucking
This is when I wrote, the empty man is freaking me out.
And then it's ding
The teddy-
dong.
the teddy
Teddy's
bear,
hair.
which is kind
Yeah.
of not there. I mean, obviously, Cocaine Bear didn't press the button, but we do get a bear sitting on a front porch.
We get a return of a
Mhm.
bear, another bear.
Shout out.
Shouts.
Shout out to all my fat bear, all my thick bears out there.
Thick Bear Week. That's what you're excited for.
That's ours.
That's it.
Yo, this bear thick. Weird. Day 3.
Yeah, he's putting his ring on, and he's not taking his meds, and he's taking some nips out of his little.
Which I didn't get the significance of putting on the wedding ring instead of taking his medication.
I think it's like accepting his grief. Maybe, I don't know, because we started getting some visions
Trying
of like,
to accept it or something, because it
Yeah.
seems like he's taking these pills because he keeps getting these, where were you? Like things
Yeah.
going through his head, like he's having like all these like hallucinations or something. So it seems like he's taking these pills to help not deal with whatever that is. And now he's
Right,
like, no,
right.
I'm going to deal with it now.
Okay.
and also drink heavily, and,
Which seems like...
trailing some teens. I like the fact that he's just nipping out of a flask and just driving behind a bunch of teenagers.
And he
Follow
decides to
him
take the
around
teddy bear
town.
along? He's
Yes,
"Come
in the
with me,
back
Teddy."
seat.
yeah.
I'm going to interrogate
Power
you
move.
later.
So yeah, he follows those people to the hospital and sees the whole worshiping.
Worshiping hospital
The guy,
man.
yeah, man in a coma has a groupie group.
He had said this. This is probably about the third time he said this as well. I grew up in San Francisco. He says that quite
Yeah,
a few
all the
times
time.
throughout the movie.
Yeah. He
I know
says
what culture
that
are.
when, yeah. Well, it's, you know.
So that's something they really
designed to
imprinted
say
into
it.
him.
Yeah.
Which is
So he abducts that cult guy, the cool
Holy
cigarette smoking
shit.
one in broad daylight.
That
Nobody notices because they're all on their
sounds-
phones.
When he
Mhm.
when he maces that kid, throws him in the back, and then he does that pop up like a fucking weevil, and then like looks around. I like that just everyone's on their phone, and he just looks. He's like, all right, all right, cool. I'm just gonna go.
Guess I got away with it. The guy gives him a bunch of cult babble for the most part, and James decides to go break back into the Pontifex Institute. And as he's coming in, he's got his bolt cutters, but the chain is just sort of wrapped around it. It falls right off, almost as if he's being allowed to come in. He goes straight to Manifestation 14. He's like, I remember where that fucking book was. Because Manifestation 13, I think, was
the
labeled
video
on the
thing.
tape
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the... Mm-hmm.
So then this is also that goes back to them manifesting, trying to get this Tulpa right.
Yeah.
So if he's
Right.
because we find out Manifestation 14 is James.
hmm
Right.
So
Correct.
Manifestation 13 was that whatever creature that came before that they still
Right,
didn't do it right.
So were you
right?
saying that we're doing other manifestations or other manifestations of James?
I don't know.
Because I know they were doing other
I
manifestations.
think they were doing manifestations of the empty man, and then they were realizing that his vessel on Earth was dying. So I think they shifted their tulpa creating to like two James. Because like the rebel with a cause, he starts talking about how like what was it? It's like that whatever this thing is like from the abyss of like black chaos, and it needs like an empty man to transmit, as in like he needs like a comatose man to kind of transmit his thoughts and stuff like that. I also do like the fact where he goes, they're trying to pull him through the threshold permanently and cause him bloodbath. And like, it is a doomsday cult. They're just trying to pull this god thing out of fucking reality into ours.
Well, to kind of answer your question, Sam, I don't know if I necessarily thought that all of these previous manifestations were James, but I think of them all as like, they're all James in the sense that they were always trying to create this
something. Got it.
Something like that.
A workable tulpa.
And to be honest,
a usable tulpa.
When we first talked about it a little bit earlier, I forgot about this reveal I forgot about the other manifestation looking so different. But yeah, sure.
So he gets manifestation 14, and what is it? Oh shit. It's a file all on him and his whole life and every detail, including that little happy birthday coupon at the Mexican restaurant.
That creeped me out more than anything.
My only thought on this though now is maybe James was a real person.
Oh, and they used
they used the basis of a real person to build this archetype. Ooh, as like just
interesting.
Who knows? I mean,
right.
That's. I like that.
Someone who has died. This guy was a cop. I don't know if they would know he actually had an affair or whatever. But like, try to find someone who was already troubled or whatever, died tragically, and I don't know if that could build something up or knew that they had like if there was a basis for it somehow was my only other thought.
No, I mean honestly that makes a lot of sense though, because it's like it would be more for them to concentrate on because it's a tangible thing that happened on the planet that they can focus their thoughts on in creating the person instead of just like nothing.
Yeah, in a world where thoughts
Amanda's talking that it was all made up.
Yeah, but she says
like his wife and kid are made up. The thing with the mom is made up.
I don't know. Then that blows that theory out the window. Exactly. I feel like I come up with something, and exactly, it comes back to that. Which really.
So now he, at this point, if you're in the audience, you should know that he's the tulpa.
Yeah.
If you haven't figured it out yet. It's not fully revealed, but...
Oh, because like even the rotting teddy bear, because in that file, it was one he gave to his son. So like even that weird teddy bear that's been following him is like a totem from his past.
That they manifested.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So he goes to the hospital to go where the antenna is.
Yeah, we're full crazy there. We're full crazy train at this point.
Yeah, this movie does a great job at like the beginning on the mountain is pretty wild, but then it gets very grounded and like to where the journey that you go on is just...
I do like when he goes back to the hospital. I love that the nurse says she can't tell the patient's John Doe's medical history and then proceeds to give the entire medical
Tells him
history.
Everything. I have that. I can't
she
tell
goes
you
into
anything,
like a trance almost.
But I tell you everything.
Like her the way she talks slowly changes till it becomes
obviously
culty.
It becomes evident that at the end she's part. Everyone around there just seems to be part of the cult thing. So of course she's gonna
But I think it's I agree with both. But Sam, I totally understand where you're coming from because my note on this was. Okay, so at a certain point in the conversation, are they both drugged or horny? Because they sound different, and they're like, "Oh, really? Is that a?" And he goes, "It's doing this."
It really is.
It's super off-putting.
I noticed on my second watch, I should have made a note of what the thing was, but it was a certain question or something they said to each other, and both of them kind of changed in that moment.
So weird.
Maybe they said 304. Who knows?
Probably.
But then she's like, "Oh yeah, he gets a lot of visitors. In fact, someone's in there right now.
Hey,
It's Amanda Quayle, the
Amanda.
missing girl that he's been trying to find."
Just giving this dude a shave.
And this is when, she's like, "Yeah, go ahead, call my mom. I don't care." Nora doesn't know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when it's like, all right, if you didn't fucking know, he's a tulpa.
Right. And the entire false narrative of James having sex with Nora at her husband's funeral instead of being in the car with his wife and son who choked on a fucking coin. She goes to like save him and skids on ice and then veers off of a bridge. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I thought she swerved to avoid a deer on the bridge.
No, sorry, it is. I guess it's both. Like he was choking.
He's just tapping it on his teeth and she's like,
I thought he started
don't
choking
do that.
on it.
And then she looks up and there's a deer.
Oh God! All right, maybe I read it wrong. I thought he was like he had it as like playing tapping on his teeth, and it looked like he was choking, and then she freaked out, and then turned around and thought it was like it could have.
Either way, she was looking back and turned around, and there was a deer there. And she drove off the road
For sure. Flies off the bridge to their death. All of that is all just planted in his head.
Okay.
From the Pontifex Institute because they created him through thought and concentration and time. So this is where she tells him the signal can only penetrate the cracks of sorrow, grief, and guilt. Fear, that's what we were missing, so we made you that way. And then he bugs out and he is now in the temple from the scene prior that we talked about where they're all blown into bottles and conjuring. He is now underneath himself from earlier in the movie.
This entire sequence of shots is so mind meta, as in like you're going to the bone shrine, you're going to the place where he was born, you're going to like they have that split thing we talked about before where like he's manifested in the hallway with his file out, and then he's also up top. It's like this is the timey-wimey, I guess. This is the timey-wimey conclusion.
Because from here, he goes into the room where he is made, where the chair is, and you see that the empty man, and the empty man starts coming at him. Yeah, because this is when the paint bubbling and cracking on the walls as he approached. Okay. That's a really, really nice
Such a good
touch.
scene. Can we talk about full frontal empty man? Like, when we actually get to see this fucking thing, it is so Lovecraftian and so fucking off-putting and weird. It's like a normal, it's like a skeleton man, but he's like 8 feet tall. And he's in this like death shroudy, chaotic thingy. I don't know. The best way to put
That's
that.
so cool. How he actually manifests. I forgot about that because it actually cuts to him in the cave staring at
the bone structure,
guy, and then the knuckle cracks, and then like a veil appears before him, and so you kind of see shadows moving behind it, and then it escapes through.
He's crossed that bridge, baby.
Yeah, it's so cool, and then climbs across the room and dives into his throat, fully goes into him, and the visualization of that was fucking cool. We
technically get like a tentacle barf in his mouth, kind of weird. Yeah, there was a little bit of barf. There's like
reverse vomit.
It's reverse vomit, yeah. And then jumping into that whole worming his way into his mouth. I was not expecting like the mini Cthulhu-y kind of like tentacles coming out of his face, though.
Right.
Although for a split,
everything about his visualization here at the end,
so crazy. Although I might want to watch it again because I thought for like I don't know, I think they're tentacles, but they also kind of look like fingers because he has so many extra fingers that it could just be like his open gaping finger mouth. Ooh,
gaping finger.
Tips on
my gaping finger mouth.
Tips on that band name.
So this is when it's all actually confirmed about the tragedy with his family. We talked about that. And then he is suddenly in the hospital room holding the gun and fucking blows the hospital guy's head away. Dude. Like bad.
What I also thought was
like the
fucking maze. Exactly. It was just like the fucking painting. Like that was the coolest
on the wall, the blood splatter. The painting that the Manifestation 13 did on the wall of the cabin. Yeah.
100%. Oh, also, just to reiterate, when his wife and kid that don't exist drive off that bridge, we're not talking about a bridge into water. This is a bridge to just gravel, dirt, and a bunch of, like, it flips and smushes the entire car.
Yeah, definitely. And now he turns and everyone in the hospital turns to him, and they're all cult members. They drop on their knees
and start praising him. Ugh.
And that's the end.
Yeah. The movie's over.
I did like the Hereditary ending.
I don't know what that means.
What?
Did he hasn't seen Hereditary. The one thing I forgot to mention, at the Pontifex Institute, they linger on like a painting for a second. That's a painting of the cabin on the mountain from the beginning.
Yep.
Just a fun little detail.
Ooh.
And do you guys have anything else to add or anything we skipped over?
No, my notes are pretty empty.
All right, let's take a quick break. And we are back. I hope you enjoyed that little boom boom. It's time to get into our crematorium of questions. Let's do it. How would we survive?
Yeah,
this is a tough one. I don't really know what that means. I guess the empty man, we blew in a bottle and the empty man's after us.
We don't
if that's
survive.
The case,
I don't think
don't survive.
Sam, we blew it.
I see what you did and I like it and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the shitty thing about the empty man as a bad guy, is that once you get on the crazy train of the 3 days, I don't think there's any real way of you're not duplicating the empty man and giving it to someone else to watch. You're not, like, there's no
that we know of, presumably. I mean, yeah. It seems like everyone who's,
that's true.
Realistically, it seems like everyone who's, I don't know what the teens' involvement is, I guess, in the beginning, but it seems like there's a lot of people that are fucking with empty man on purpose, right?
Yes. Well, I mean, there's an entire cult based. Right.
So I don't know. I know we know, like, Amanda's
he transmits
part of that, but I don't know if all the other teens are part of that. Like, you know, we're ready to take the sacrifice type of thing. So,
like, maybe that's why she survived after blowing in the bottle, was she did something to be okay and was like, I need 5 kids to sacrifice for this to work, or something.
Maybe it's something like it revolves a blood sacrifice. So, like, this cult member has to sacrifice friends or family to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah. Would we? I don't think we survive if we blow the bottle, but that's the only way not to survive, or to survive, is to not blow the bottle.
Yeah, don't blow in the bottle.
Yeah.
If you find an empty bottle on a bridge,
do it
at night. Don't blow into it. In the day, if you're a vessel, how would you make the film gooier?
Ooh.
I mean,
I would.
We don't get a lot of opportunities for goo. I guess maybe the empty man could, like,
if we had
be himself gooier, slicker.
Well,
wetter.
I mean, like, if we had, because they kind of allude to the fact that, like, the Doomsday Cult's end goal is to have the empty man rip into our reality and just cause chaos. So, like, if we made it gooier, like, maybe that scene where he punches through the threshold and just, like, eviscerates the entire cult. And then from, you know what I mean?
It'd be cool if he
a cathedral of goo.
That's like extremely gooey.
Ooh,
I was thinking if he kind of just, like, bursts out of the old vessel to get into the new vessels.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Nice.
A good body explode. Yeah.
But I don't think, I mean, even though this is a low gore rating and all that,
it doesn't need it.
The tone of the movie doesn't need more goo.
This is one of those situations we just kind of talked about. It does the need to be gooier. You said always. This one,
Well, see, it's got enough mind goo. This is a mind goo movie.
Oh.
Wondering how he's going to get out of this one. All right, mind goo. Right.
When you're dealing with timey-wimey, weebly-wobbly stuff, and, like, you're dealing with, like, duplicates of yourself, I mean, that's mind goo, because it's going to turn your mind into goo after a certain point.
Certainly.
Did that work? Did I save myself on that?
I mean, you pulled a Ross.
You broke the rules to make it work.
I mean, iconography is tough. I think it has a really, really cool look. I think it could get a 5 for that.
I gotta give it.
I think the only reason I would give it slightly less than a 10 is like, its power level seems pretty powerful, but there's a lot of things you need to do to make the Empty Man come out and work, right?
Oh, that's true.
Sure.
Yeah. He's more like a djinn or a genie.
Like there's a slight restriction on it that I feel like if that was taken away, it would be the unlimited power. 9.5 is what I'm going to give him.
I'll go.
I don't know why. I don't.
No, I get you. I mean, like he's a 10. This entity of the Empty Man is a 10, but because of the ritual to invoke him, I agree with you. I would sit at a 9.
I'm definitely at a 10. It's 5 for iconography because he looks badass, and 5 for it's a world doom bringer. That's true. Like, it's a elder god type of thing.
Is it though?
Average is 9.5. That's not bad. That's almost
Kingdom 23. Yeah. So what happens now? Do they have to wait? Like, I don't know. I guess they understand their Tulpa manifestation a little bit better, so they can presumably get that going. What is Empty Man's end game? To just to
end
infect
the world,
everyone with emptiness?
No, I think he's supposed to like bring death and destruction. Okay, because he's basically like
he's bringing nothing.
I almost thought of the Empty Man as like a harbinger for the larger
angry god
thing.
Crazy.
He's just bringing upon. Okay, well then, I'm fine with my 9.5 then. Still,
it's fine. Does this movie deserve a sequel? And what's the worst sequel idea you can think of?
I don't think it. I mean, it deserves a sequel, yes.
Totally.
Because I think it's a good enough movie.
I'd take a sequel.
Needs one.
Yeah. Worst sequel would be the new protagonist, or maybe new Tulpa, about to blow into the bottle and then just decides not to. And then the rest of the movie is just an hour and a half of them driving around going to Walmart.
I knew it was going to be something like that. I was wondering where I thought it was going to be an hour and a half of an empty bottle on a bridge.
I should have gone with that one.
So mine is one of those sequel and name onlys like Troll 2, where there's no trolls. They just used it because there was already a movie named Troll. And it's about a man who's just an empty sack of flesh, and they're trying to find a way that he can...
Like a deflated balloon.
Exactly. And it's about his journey into what is the right thing to fill himself up with so he can like move around and whatnot. He tries, different gases, but it'll float away. Oh, it's almost like a dark comedy.
Oh, sure.
I'm into that.
I think mine will be like the Empty Man has been empty manning enough and doesn't really know who he is. So he goes on to kind of eat, pray, love to fill the void within.
Ooh.
And tries to find, something that can just, take away the emptiness just a little bit. I think that'd be a terrible sequel to this movie.
It sure would.
That's great.
What line is the pit call? I didn't have a pit call line for this movie.
No.
What the fuck was that? Would probably be the highest contender. Was
that work? Yeah.
Yeah, no. Both of those, like, in that part.
At the same scene, too. I think those might be... And then... I think the next thing he says is, what the fuck was that? So, yeah.
What the fuck was that?
You just play it in between those two parts in the movie.
Okay, or
that's
close
perfect.
second would be the line that Amanda gives him. She's like, what's it? She's on the bridge. Where's the bridge? You haven't been fucking listening. Because he asks her something
it's a bit
like,
long.
Yeah. All right, maybe you haven't been fucking listening. How about the end part of that?
That'd be good.
Go.
Yeah. Would you buy the soundtrack or score on vinyl? No.
You mean just bottle
you
clinging and whispering?
Yeah.
I mean,
if I'm going to have I already said no to buying the Ring soundtrack on vinyl.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go for moody music, I'm going to go for my nostalgic moody music.
Sure.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't go. It'd be cool.
Great sound design. It's cool. It all works within the movie. I just don't want it outside the movie.
Well, it's like it's good if you have a haunted house,
Mhm.
like, and it's
which is why
like
I'm
a
surprised you
20
didn't say
minute
you'll be
thing.
buying
you never
it,
know. You
right?
might want to get in the
Yeah,
mood.
you-
Right. Which is funny because I actually have like sounds from a haunted house. And this one would be like, this one for whatever reason, because in those ones you get a variety. You know what I mean? Like this one is just going to be whispering and clanging. It's going to be a little,
Yeah,
it'll
no,
get stale quick.
I get it. Is anything action figure worthy? Think we already determined the empty man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude, just the fuck. I mean, okay, this is going to double up the action, the statue, whatever you want to call it. Also, the merch that I would want from the film. The fucking bone shrine would be such a cool display to have.
Mhm.
Well, you're acting like it'd be small. I'm pretty sure that bone shrine is quite large.
Oh, no, I'm saying the action figure.
Oh,
and the action
I thought you were
figure
saying
as well.
for the merch.
The real one that I want that's from the movie is going to take over one of the walls in my office.
Great. But yeah, I agree. I would that both of those would be great action figures. There's nothing really beyond that in this one for me.
Yeah. I guess the hung kids in the bridge would be kind of a really fucked up play set to have.
It'd be like one of the infinity balls or whatever they are, where they snap back and forth and keep moving.
Oh my God.
They keep the momentum.
What if it was like a board? What about if it was like a board game? One's like Don't Break the Ice.
Mhm.
Like you have to hang the kids and then like it has to get to a certain weight and then the game's over. It's kind of like Don't Wake Daddy.
I'd play.
Well, the merch that I would want from the show, or from the movie, would be the yo-yo with each of the kids' heads on it.
Oh my God. Yes. Or like just Mad Balls. Oh, 10 points.
The prop I want is the bone whistle.
Oh, bone whistle, yeah, for the prop.
Bone whistle is pretty good. Yeah.
What would you do at the midnight show? I only have one that we probably all have, which is bring an empty bottle and blow in it.
And blowing
Mhm.
into it. Yeah. In a lot of movies, I feel like there should be a lot of different ones. I feel for Empty Man, just having the bottle and blowing into it the entire film is sufficient enough.
Or just
Probably
everybody go
be creepy. I'll whisper
Yes.
along too.
Just a
Yeah.
whole crowd of people whispering.
Every other person whispers in the other person's ear during the scene
Ew.
where like in the shack
Get out of
and
my
then
ear.
also at the mall scene.
Yeah. And it's very percussive whispering too. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's it's loud.
Gross. Would Pearl from X survive?
No.
I mean, we
I
already
mean,
said
she-
you can't if you blow in the
Well-
bottle. Let's say she's in the cult. I mean,
It's been proven in the film Pearl likes to blow.
hey,
So she's going to blow that bottle.
you're right about that.
And in 3 days, she's going to die.
I mean, yeah, well,
Hard.
She's
yeah,
gonna
when-
die on the first day when she hears the empty man.
Oh my God, she's going to hear it and have a heart attack.
I was going to say,
What was
if she's
that?
like one of the cult members at the end by the bedside table, when they all drop to their knees, her knees are just going to
Also
shatter
gone.
and her bones are going to break. And
her kneecaps explode.
Everything
And she
explodes.
just crumbles in
Mhm.
on herself.
Great. Let's get to our ratings. Gentlemen,
do it.
please place your hand on the butcher's block because it's time to rate this movie. We rate movies on the Chuddle scale. On the Chuddle scale, a different quality about a movie is represented on each finger of your hand. You chop off fingers depending on how you feel about that particular quality. Then we add it all up and you got your rating. Remember, you can only chop off a whole finger, half a finger, or keep the finger. Now, Ross, give us your rating for this one.
Oh, shit. All right. So we've got engaging. Engaging's going to get a 1 from me because even as it descends into madness towards the end of the film, I was still engaged the entire time. Sticky is going to get as much as the Empty Man sticks with you. This one's going to get a 0.5 from me. I think that like there's some really good scenes in it.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's I don't know, it's very thinly spread throughout this movie. It's a very slow burn.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Still good, just not super sticky. T-shirtable. T-shirtable's gonna get a full 1. Bone Shrine on a shirt would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
There's a few of these. Maybe even like Inception, James, where like there's a shirt on the back of the shirt. He's on like on the Heights road and the low road's on the other side. Cockles is gonna get a 0.5 from me. Like it was It was good. It was good timey-wimey. It was good. I mean, I'm a Lovecraft fan, so anything that has to deal with like different dimensions and like reality bending and stuff like that, I'm usually always full throttle. This is really good. It milked them, but it's not dry. I feel like although this is a over a 2-hour film, you don't get a lot of explanation on stuff.
Sure.
And this one, I would have loved like 15%. Like, I didn't need to hear the whole story. Maybe like 15 or 20% more. You know what I mean? And then my cockles would have been just eviscerated. Rewatchable. I think because of the cockle thing, my rewatchable is probably going to go to a 0.5 as well. It's a good movie, but it's probably not one that I'm going to put on like as background or you know what I mean? Or
Definitely.
It's not like definitely it's not a soul food one. Like, this is a good one to watch, but like you have to be in the fucking mood to get into like empty man zone.
Mm-hmm. Brian. Oh,
That's
sorry.
a
That was 3.5.
3.5. There you go.
Does that feel right in your heart?
In my empty man heart. Yeah, it does. It does. It may shift by 0.5, but I think for right now, I feel pretty good about that.
Sure. Good.
Right, Brian, lay it on us.
Engaging. I'm going to go ahead and give that one a 0.5. I liked it. I was engaged for a lot of it, but I feel like the one thing that did kind of deter me, I don't know, there was parts that I was just lulled a little bit.
Sure.
It does feel a little bit long, so I kind of just, I don't know, wavered out a little bit there. Sticky, I'm also going to give it a 0.5 on the sticky. While there is, I mean, I'm going to remember a lot of ideas from this, but I don't know how much I'm going to remember of the actual movie or scenes or things that like pop out to me besides like the imagery of the actual, just the empty man itself. So 0.5 on sticky. T-shirtable. I'll give it the 1 on T-shirtable because the empty man I feel like is such a strong image that'd be a really cool T-shirt. There's not too much else. Like I feel like I'd be fishing for some more out of it, but like
yes. I said bone shrine and I tried thinking of a second one and I couldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Cockles is going to get a 0.5 as well. Same reasons as you. Ross, kind of what you said there. I really liked it. I liked the mood, the vibe of it. It really gave me the feelings of like The Ring, but like the yellow version. There's a lot of yellow in this one. If you didn't notice any of that.
Super Lovecraftian because there's like the yellow, was it the Yellow King is part of those writings. He's like a harbinger of doom as well. Okay. So I'm gonna get,
I thought of this as like yellow ring. So I was like, I was like vibing on it, but I don't know why it wasn't fully milked, but it,
sure, like
Ross said. And rewatchable is going to get a 0.5 as well. I'd come back to this. I'd rewatch it again, but I'm not itching to get out there. I understand what they were doing. I understand the point to it. I don't feel like I'm going to go back and like get more
out of it,
or like the questions that I want answered. I don't think I'm going to get answers to on the rewatch. So that's what I understand.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
So that's 3 out of 5.
That's a 3.
I feel right.
Yeah, feels good.
Great.
So right above average. I mean, if that feels good.
Cool. My turn. All right. So I really like this movie. Just going to put that out there now. I like one of the things we didn't really touch on is I sort of like the concept of the cult and this sort of Noah-verse and the gibberish being real and the sort of connecting with disconnectedness of nothingness. All that stuff is just fun to think about for me. Anyway.
Oh, totally.
Engaging. Full 1 for engaging. I was in it to win it. I was hooked, and like I said on my first watch, I think also that helped the environment I was in of getting to fully immerse myself. Sticky. That's going to get a 1 too. There's a lot of scenes I'm going to remember from this, visualizations, just lots of cool stuff. And like I said, I like thinking about the concepts behind the cult and everything.
Oh, totally.
T-shirtable, that's definitely a full 1. Really like this movie. It's really just the 2 things, either the empty man or the bone shrine, but those are both really fucking cool.
Yes.
Cockles. Absolutely worked my cockles. I loved the vibe of this movie. I was just in it, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
This is where it gets funny. Rewatchable is getting knocked down to 0.5. Part of that I know sort of the twist at the end, which didn't blow me away. I wasn't all in on the twist, but also now rewatching it, I have all these additional questions of how all this shit works that there's no answer to. So normally that would really bother me, and it does bother me enough to knock it down half a point. I'm kind of okay with it here, but unless I'm showing this to somebody, it's probably going to be a while before I watch it again.
Oh, absolutely. I think you make a really good point, Sam, is that like in a weird way that the more you watch this, the more questions you're going to have. Like your suspenders of disbelief keep on slowly coming off every time you rewatch this.
Which, you know, you can write it off as just being cosmic or whatever. But either way, that's where I stand. And 5 feels right to me. I would have maybe thought of 4, but 4 or 5 is good. And it's, hey, good for you. I like you just as much as Friday the 13th, A New Beginning.
Good on you, Empty Man.
So if it says anything about my taste.
It's great.
All right. What did the Chuddle Club have to say? We got some people talking about this in the Discord channel. Gonna start off with our friend Weird in Discord.
Hey, Weird.
She said it was a great watch, but was able to follow things and wasn't surprised at all by the ending. Gave it a 0.75 for engaging. That's cool. You do what you want. We don't do that. 0.5 for sticky, 0.5 for t-shirtable, 0.75 for cockles, and a 1 for rewatchable. Just interesting. And just because it's different from me, so that's very interesting. And that brought the weird score to 3.5 out of 5. So right in line with Rosticle, I believe. Then we got Witch Plavis. Yeah. He gave it a 4.5 out of 5, which is exactly what I got it. So he and I are right on. And we got, of course, our Witchy Keijon, who suggested this pick. He said, and I quote, "I'd say it's a little too long, but it's a hella nice slow burn, so I won't take points off for it. The film subverts expectations and keeps you guessing until the end, and then it climaxes on you and you need a smoke. Here's my Chuddle scale. Engaging 1, sticky 1.5, t-shirtable 1, cockles 1, rewatchable 1, which gives it a 5.5 out of 5.
5.5 out of 5, yeah.
And he said he'd seen it 3 times this week alone, and he don't hate it yet. Which I'm glad he mentioned that it's a little too long, because that's another reason why I took off for rewatchable.
Yeah.
I feel like any of the stuff, a lot of the stuff
I feel
with
like you almost needed to be.
I feel like a lot of the stuff with the cops could have been trimmed or taken out.
Taken out.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I agree with you, except for the fact that they have some cool dialogue.
Yeah, that's all you're really getting out of it.
No purpose. Yeah. Throw that to the Pontifex Institute in some way or form. Be sure to join our Discord if you like to have your thoughts and ratings included in the show. That's how the Chuddle Club gets in here. And what was that? A 5.5, and a 3.5. So whatever that average is, it's definitely higher than our average.
Yeah, that gives it a 4.5 average.
Yeah.
Brian? Which ours is a 3.7, which means it does not make it into the Chuddle Club crypt, but it sits right in the same company as Final Destination 1, Lawnmower Man, Tokyo Gore Police, and Night of the Demon. Right below it, you got things like New Year's Evil and Rec 2. Right above it, Creepshow, Blair Witch Project, Quarantine.
Wow. Cool.
At 3.8. So it's like 3.8, 3.5 are the ones that are right above and below. So
it's not bad. It's in good company.
You almost made it. In Horseshoes, you would have been there. Great. Well, steel your nerves and sharpen your wit. It's time for the final thingy.
Ooh.
Would you rather be pursued by the empty man for the rest of your life, always living in fear and paranoia, or become an acolyte of the empty man and dedicate your life to spreading his influence, knowing that you will lose your own sense of self in the process?
I'm running from the empty man.
So
feels like my life.
It sounds like with the first option, your entire life, he's just chasing you. That means he doesn't kill you. So you just have to deal.
No, but you are living in fear and paranoia, so you're still scared of him killing you.
I'd rather die free.
Then join the
live
cult.
then join the cult.
I think I'm going to join the cult. I don't want to live in fear for the rest of my life.
Dude, free haircut, room and board. You get a black poster.
I want to know the Noahverse. I'm kind of already interested in everything they're saying. How am I not myself?
And even if someone tells you, you can't explain it.
Great. Well, gentlemen, that was fun. Thank you. That does it for tonight's Chuddle Club movie meeting. Follow Chuddle the Pod on Instagram and Slasher if you want to stay up to date with the podcast. Follow at Ross Purvis on Instagram if you want to see his tattoos or get tattooed. You can follow me on Letterboxd at Chuddle the Sam, and Brian's always in our Discord, lurking, waiting for people to pop out and say hi. He's running streams Saturday mornings. He's playing games. He's streaming movies sometimes. This movie was streamed in there.
I'm neglecting all of my life things for you.
Guys, Bryan is transmitting. You need to receive these transmissions.
I get it. Because of the movie.
And until next time.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?